All right, just too nice of a day not to get out and actually do something. Today, using the Ricoh GR3 and the GRIIX. Came out here, Chambers Bay. Should be a good spot to show off these two little cameras. I've already made a video about these in general, but the GR3 is a 28mm full frame equivalent camera, super small. One of the things that happened after I made my first video about the GRIIX is Ricoh reached out again and said, hey, you want to try out the other one? And I also asked if I could try out these viewfinders, 28mm and then like a 40mm equivalent. I'm gonna take both of these cameras, use them in the same spots, getting the exact same angles and all that kind of stuff. And then we can see, you know, which one you would get out of the two. So the thing I really love about these cameras is they are so small, even with the added viewfinder here, still very pocketable, a lot more pocketable than something like the X100V. And honestly, been a really, really good experience. Now, obviously you're not gonna get any electronic controls or anything when you're looking through an optical viewfinder here, but it gives me a very like film point and shoot kind of a feel to things. I'm putting it up here, I'm just trusting the camera. It's an optical viewfinder that's a lot better and bigger than most even high-end film point and shoots. And even this tiny little, this is the GV3, so the 40mm viewfinder, it is very, very small. Personally, I really, really, really enjoy using this. I'm just turning the back screen off altogether and using this as I would a film point and shoot, knowing that I don't have to have perfect exposure, just kind of rocking it. It's been super fun. Now, the way I'm running these is I'm using the hard black and white. It's a really contrasty black and white and makes blues super, super dark. So yesterday I was out photographing and the sky was just like so dark and contrasty. But overall, it makes the experience of using this really, really interesting. I really like the black and whites that come out of this. And then if I want to, after kind of the fact, I can go in and edit the raw files. So I'm definitely running raw plus JPEG. And yeah, really loving sort of just seeing this in a more like monochromatic way. But again, I'm often just hitting the display thing a few times, using this with just nothing, clicking for a photo, and then I'll review it in black and white. And it's been a really nice way to not have to think about everything that's going on in these little cameras. The hard part really is going to be knowing whether you are going to want a 28mm or a 40mm focal length. I think the 40mm for the vast majority of people, I mean, it's a more normal focal length, closer to what a typical film point and shoot used to be. It's just what most people are gonna be more comfortable with. It has a little bit more compression. If you wanna get some out of focus elements, you're gonna get that a lot easier. 28mm though feels so much more like a street camera, like a camera that you're going to be using to get more of the environment. And I would say that getting images with a 28 is more difficult than a 40. It doesn't mean that you can't do it. I just think it's easier to compose because there's gonna be less things to worry about in your frame. Now, I think the interesting thing is when I go out and travel and I'm gonna bring two cameras, these are close to the two focal lengths that I end up bringing. Often I'll use a 28 and a 50. Kind of the middle ground here is probably the 40. So it makes sense where most people, if they're gonna only choose one lens, they'll choose a 35. The 40 is obviously pretty close to that. But I do really love the 28mm being a little bit more enveloping. It does take a little bit more, but I feel like the wider perspective allows me to get a little bit more interesting things. But again, the 40mm is probably the more versatile one overall. So I think ultimately, if you're looking for a good street, travel, pocketable, everyday camera. This obviously makes a ton of sense. Yeah, the technology is a little bit older. Yeah, I wish that they would update and get a new one. Yeah, you can't actually buy one brand new, but it seems like there are some on the used market, and if I was interested in this camera, I would probably just buy one on the used market or jump on and add a pre-order or back-ordered list, because it seems like these things are selling just as well on the used market as they are brand new. I am now a believer in the GR series, totally understand why people love these cameras. And especially if you're kind of on the fence about the X100 series, I can see why this would be a really good alternative, especially if you don't need an EVF specifically, and you want something that's a lot smaller and more portable. So if you're interested in learning more about these cameras at all, I have another video about the GRIIX. Drop any of the comments and questions you have down below as well, because I have a lot of different experience on a lot of different platforms between all of these cameras. A huge thanks to Ricoh for sending these out and letting me play with them for the last, I don't know, a couple months now. I've taken them a lot of places, and it's been super fun to have such a powerful camera that's actually pocketable, actually with me all the time. So subscribe if you haven't already, and you can check out my original GR3X video up here. Check out more of my point and shoot videos up here, and I'll see you in one of those videos.